So, Charlie, how can I get as profitable as possible with the least amount of work? Not me personally, but yeah.
We talked about this over coffee this morning, and I've already forgotten what it was. That's why I'm laughing, and because I couldn't remember what it was. This was a conversation. I was at a trader show last week, and one of the great things with whether you've got a social media audience or you come into contact with traders, especially people who have been trading maybe less than 5 years, is that it keeps us in touch with the mindset of how people think. And this person last week said to me, Charlie, I haven't got 10 years to be learning all this stuff. What I need is probably some artificial intelligence-based trading system that I haven't got the time to be learning all this, so I need to do the least amount of work with the maximum profitability. How can I go about doing that? Can you help me with this? And I literally, I laughed in front of it in a nice way, but I did laugh because that sums up a lot of where people who get into trading, they don't actually love trading. They want to get into trading for the money, the end result. That's what everybody gets into trading for. But you have to love the process of trading, because if you don't, as soon as you have some losses, you're out or you're going to be trying to do something else. And this is again comes back down to some of our other conversations talking about trading morons, is that people chase the holy grail of strategies or whatever it might be, or a system like this chap saying, well, if I can systemize and have an AI approach, because surely AI is going to be better than anything that I can do or anyone else can do. And you just think, oh, bless you, you're simplifying, thinking that something like that is going to do all the hard work for you. Even if you had an artificial intelligence system that was profitable, highly unlikely, and we'll discuss that in a second. But even if you did, it's still going to have its own losses and losing spells. And you think just because you're not having to click the buttons yourself, you're still seeing your P&L going, uh-oh, it's going down or whatever, and you're probably going to end up interfering with it and everything else. But anyway, it's not going to happen. So unfortunately for that chap, there is no quick fix. And my advice was, I don't think you should be trading.
I think that's the best advice you could give him. And this idea with, I always say that whether it's an automated system, an AI system, doesn't matter what system it is, there's a human behind it, and you're that human. And if you haven't done your time, for want of a better expression, you haven't gone out there and experienced losing trades. It's a little bit like when people use automated backtesting systems and they come to me with almost like a printout of all the data of what the strategy does and what its win-loss ratio and optimum risk to reward. They haven't done they haven't been there. They haven't actually been and looked and seen what does that bad performing month look like? How are you going to cope with it? So there's always a human at the end of whatever system you're trading. And I think the idea that you can circumvent that even if you are going to use an automated system, you've still got to get used to what that system is offering. There's going to be a difference going forward because the system can only be built on what has happened in the past. So even if you can create some shortcuts, there is no ultimate shortcut. You can't bypass time in the markets, time in going through the emotional ups and downs that we've been through and every trader goes through, the discipline that's required and everything that makes you a trader. And if you don't, I think a lot of people, I'm just coming back to the point you said about being in love with the process. I think a lot of people do come to trading and they're initially drawn in by the fact that they can make money. Potentially it can be a tax-free mechanism. They can do it anywhere in the world. They can make money when the market's going up and down. They're incentivized by the money. But if they don't fall in love with the process at some point, it's not going to work. And I see this with people who come to me who are property investors or they're doing Amazon drop shipping. They like the look of trading because they can add it in, but when they actually see what's involved, suddenly they go, maybe this isn't for me. So I think the advice of trading's not for you if you want to try and circumvent the process.
And I think, if you try and process it like that, like having a system, especially automated, that type of thing, just bear in mind, hedge funds spend tens of millions on, if not more than that, on automation and all of that highly elaborate stuff. And do you really think that you sitting there in your back bedroom, with an EA, and that's going to be better than when these guys are spending. They have whole programming teams designing systems for them. So I think there's an element of realism that needs to be there, but we don't need to do that either. But don't think that something like AI, which is obviously very, very popular, when you think about it, AI is just taken off this year as far as a search word. At the beginning of this year, no one was talking about, it wasn't talked about in the same degree. But now people are saying, well, I'll get an AI system. Well, good luck with that. Probably not going to work for you because it doesn't quite work that way in the markets.